What's up, guys? Before I start the video, I want to have a quick disclaimer. I'm not going to be having any copyrighted music or NBA footage in any of my videos in the foreseeable future until I could possibly get a partnership. YouTube has gotten crazy with copyright striking videos and taking them down, blocking them. I put a lot of effort into these videos, so I don't want that to happen. And I'm trying to make this really quick, so thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up, guys? This is Miles here with Ascendo Sports, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's a follow-up to my first video I ever did on this channel, which ended up blowing up, and is why I actually came back and started putting new content on this channel. And it has close to 11,000 views now. It was my first video. I had like 10 subscribers. I didn't really have anything to build off of, and today I'm going to be going over why I still believe the Sacramento Kings are future NBA dynasty, and they have arrived this season. I have a lot of stats, a lot of stuff to dive into. So here's the Western Conference standings right now. They are sitting at the 9th seed, 14-12. They have had big wins against Oklahoma City twice, Minnesota, San Antonio, Utah, and a 1-point loss to Golden State. So let's build off my last video. I really like their draft picks. They had De'Aaron Fox with the 5th pick, Justin Jackson with the 15th pick, Harry Giles with the 20th pick, and Frank Mason with the 34th pick. During that season, they traded George Hill to the Cavs for Amon Shumpert, Joe Johnson, and a 2020 second-round pick. Now, that was a three-way trade. They ended up going 27-55 and finished 12th in the West. But this year, let me tell you, they are something serious. As I previously mentioned, they are 9th in the West. The West is pretty much a 14-team competition right now, so there's a lot of competition to compete with trying to make that 8th seed, but I believe they can do it. They currently have 6 players averaging double digits, and the oldest one is 30, with the second oldest one being 26, and then 25 and 24. So they're a really young core, and I'm going to cover contracts later, but first I want to highlight the 6 players that are really kind of carrying them. First is Buddy Hield, who is averaging the most on the team at 18.6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and is shooting 42% from the three-point line off a 6.3 attempted per game. That is a lot of threes. Next is De'Aaron Fox, who is averaging 18.1 points per game, 3.6 rebounds per game, 7.5 assists, with 41% from the three-point line, shooting 3.2 threes a game. He's someone that struggled shooting when he came in the league. Now he's becoming a sniper. Next is Bogdan Bogdanovic, averaging 15.1 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists, shooting 37% from the three-point line, attempting 5.7 threes per game. Next is Cauley-Stein, averaging 14 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, shooting 54% from the field. And then next we have Marvin Bagley, the rookie from Duke, who was drafted with the 2nd overall pick, averaging 12.9 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 1.1 blocks per game, shooting 53% from the field. And last but not least, we have free agent signing 30-year-old Bjelica, averaging 10.6 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, shooting 46% from the three-point line off 3.1 attempted per game. One of the best things about this team right now is how young they are and how much contract flexibility they have. Their largest guaranteed contract is $17.5 million to Bogdanovic, who is a sharpshooter who is great to have on your team. That's a really good contract. Then we have Marvin Bagley, who they pretty much have locked up to 2022, which is almost a guarantee they're going to keep him for that entire time. And then all these other contracts, they can work around. Buddy Hield will almost definitely re-sign De'Aaron Fox. He'll definitely re-sign Cauley-Stein. By the way they're playing right now, if they keep all their players and they don't get hurt, within the next 3 to 4 years, they could honestly compete for a title. Now I'm going to jump into some team statistics. First is field goal percentage, where they rank 4th in the league, only behind Toronto, New Orleans, and Golden State. Now it gets a lot crazier here. Next is going to be three-point percentage per team, where they rank 2nd, only behind the repeat champions Golden State, with 3 of the best 5 shooters in the league on that team. The next statistics is points in paint per game, where they rank 4th. So now we're combining the 2nd best shooting team with the 4th best points per game. It gets a whole bunch crazier. Team win percentage in close games. Now this is defined as 5 points or less. They are ranked 2nd with 83% in close games. That's pretty good for a very young team. Steals per game? Don't worry, they have defense. They rank 7th in the league. Our next statistic that we're going to go over is fast break efficiency, where they are the best team in the league, even better than the LeBron, Lonzo, and Rondo led Lakers. And last but not least, we have team fourth quarter points in a game, where they rank third, only behind Washington and Boston. Now these statistics are eye-opening. And now let's talk about next year and the future planning, free agents in 2019. Now right now, this team, they have a lot of contract flexibility. They could fit in 2 all-star to superstar level players. Now one, I don't think they should do that. I think they should just chase one player, not one player specifically, but they don't need to bring in a whole bunch of people because the pieces are working right now. Now first, of course, if they could get Kevin Durant, they are a legitimate contender against any team. Now, I don't want to put any guards on this list because I feel that with Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox, you also have Frank Mason. You don't need any more guards. Kevin Durant, he's being rumored that he could go to the Los Angeles Clippers, or he might flirt with the New York Knicks. But why not come to Sacramento? Now, the Clippers are a very good team, but they're not as young as the Kings. So we're talking about Kevin Durant's longevity over his career. He's going to age, but he's still going to be able to shoot. Why not team up with Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox instead of Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley? Next on my list is Kawhi Leonard. Of course, another forward that would tremendously help any team in the league. Now, again, he's very much like Kevin Durant, not as great of a shooter, but he already has a championship under his belt like Kevin Durant. He has playoff experience. He would definitely help this young team. He's very quiet. We wouldn't have to worry about him distracting this team. He seems to be a decent teammate. We don't know about the entire situation in San Antonio. We just know he wasn't happy there. But he is looking for a big market team. Now, I wouldn't consider Sacramento a big market team, but they are in California. The weather is nice there. They have a lot of young talent. But I mean, they have so much more than other teams can offer just based on location. They're in California. They are in the West. But I doubt Kawhi Leonard would leave Toronto, even though he said he was going to go to Los Angeles, just because how good Toronto's doing right now. But that's another conversation for another day. But of course, he is my second option if they could pick up a free agent. Last but not least, I have Jimmy Butler. Now, I was kind of hesitant to put this one because he has been kind of bad in locker rooms. Some GMs do not want to trade for him. But I think he would really like to play with this core. Now, remember, at Minnesota, he complained because they didn't seem like they wanted it. They didn't hustle enough. They didn't play tough enough defense in the clutch, and they couldn't win without him. Now, this team, I don't think he's going to have to worry about hustle or defense. We're looking at this lineup of De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield with Willie Cauley-Stein and Marvin Bagley. All of those players can play defense. Now, not tremendous, but De'Aaron Fox, he is a very athletic defender. Reminds me a lot of a younger Russell Westbrook and John Wall. We're talking about Marvin Bagley. He's already averaging over a block a game as a rookie, splitting a lot of time with other players. So I don't think he would have the same problem worrying about their worth ethic or a hustle. They're definitely going to hustle. These guys are after. If you watch one of their games, they might be one of the most high-paced teams to watch in the game. So I think Jimmy Butler could fit into this situation because these are guys who are young. They're actually trying to get better. They're playing smart, good basketball. So I think he would fit in here. So this is pretty much all the stats I'm going to go over. But what do you think? Leave a comment. I think that Sacramento is definitely a playoff team this year as long as none of those 6 guys that I mentioned in particular get hurt. If all of them are healthy, this is going to come down to a really close season. In the West, there's a lot of teams out of it right now that are probably going to jump in it, such as Houston and San Antonio and Utah. I'm pretty sure they'll be in the playoffs. But then there's also some teams in it, such as the Clippers and Grizzlies, that really weren't supposed to be in it, but now they're playing really good. So these 8 seeds in the Western Conference is going to be really hard to pick this year. And it might bring up the conversation about doing a no-seed and playoff all over again, just because how much talent is in the West compared to the East. But back on topic, if these 6 guys that I mentioned stay healthy, I would find it very hard for them to miss the playoffs. And if they do, it might be a thing like Denver and Minnesota last year where it comes down to 1 game, or like the Clippers last year where they missed it by 3 games. But either way, this team is really young. I mean, we're looking Buddy Hield, 24, De'Aaron Fox, 20. Bogdanovich, 26, Willie Cauley-Stein, 25, and Marvin Bagley, 19. That's not even talking about Frank Mason and Harry Giles and Justin Jackson. They have a lot of talent that I didn't even mention. Labissiere. They have so many good young players on this team that it might be hard for them to keep them all. And I don't want them to end up running into the same problem that Boston has, to where we have so many assets that we're not going to be able to pay them all. So do we trade up, or do we just let them walk away for nothing? I don't want the Kings to run into this problem. That's why I only want them to chase at least, or only chase at most, one free agent, if any. So I don't want them trying to sign multiple stars. Now they could sign 2, maybe even 2.5 if they really wanted to make it work. But I feel like it's kind of a waste of time, because I mean, let's say we signed somebody like Kyrie. Well, not Kyrie. Kyrie is somebody who, yeah, he's gonna put you above the top, but sign a lower level all-star. Somebody that is an all-star, such as Hassan Whiteside. That's a good example. I couldn't think of one. I don't have this written out right now. But say they sign Hassan Whiteside for a 4-year, $160 million deal. That really screws you in the long run, because are you going to win a championship next year? Probably not. Unless you get Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, I don't think you win a championship next year. Even though how good you're playing, it's going to be hard to beat the Warriors. But if Kevin Durant was to leave the Warriors and join you, or even if Klay Thompson was to leave the Warriors and join the Kings, or if both of those guys went to the East, and nobody significant comes to the Lakers to help LeBron, or nobody comes to help Curry and Draymond and Golden State, I would not count the Kings out to win a title next year if nobody gets hurt and you could bring on one other player. It sounds crazy. These guys play team ball. They have good coaching. They have a good general manager. The fans really aren't showing up. They're 29th out of 30 in NBA attendance right now, which is really sad since they're in California and they're actually playing good with lots of young, energetic talent. But I believe within the next 4 years, this Sacramento team, with one more player and everybody staying on this roster, they could definitely win a title. And it sounds crazy with all these super teams, but sometimes you don't have to have a super team to win a title when you have so many good pieces, and definitely that can shoot. I think that's the big difference. These guys can shoot the ball, as they're second in three-point percentage right now. So thanks for watching. Please check out any of my other videos. Follow me on Instagram at Sacramento Sports. And also, I do a podcast every Wednesday, or I try to do it every Wednesday on Spreaker. I also upload the episode very quick to YouTube. So thanks for watching.